What's going on, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, your home for collected editions. And today, join me for my overview of the Snowpiercer box set from Titan Comics. So, let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, I want to give a huge thank you to the folks at Titan Comics for sending us a copy of this box set. So here we have the Snowpiercer Volumes 1, 2, and 3 box set. So we do have a slipcase here. Here's the image of Snowpiercer. And if you don't know what that is, well, you're going to learn today. And here is the image of the back. This is actually from The Crossing. No, not Avengers, The Crossing. And then the back of the slipcase. The bottom and the top are just black. The box set retails for $79.99, and this is the graphic novel that inspired the TV series and the movie. So that's actually how I first heard about Snowpiercer, was the movie. So let's get these out. So nothing really inside of the slipcase, but there are 3 cards for Snowpiercer. Volume 1, The Escape, Volume 2, The Explorers, and Volume 3, Terminus. And it's the same editions as the ones that have been released previously. It's exactly the same content, the same page count. Here's what all 3 of them look like, of course. And we're going to look at each one of these. So there's no dust jacket on these. It's just art on the board. And like I said, these are the ones that have been previously printed before. Although my copy doesn't have the graphic novel that inspired the TV series. My copy has the graphic novel that inspired the film, because there was no TV series when I bought this. Alright, let's get this book open and talk about the stories found in here and the other 2 volumes, and show off that artwork, and of course talk about the build of these hardcovers. Alright, let's get this book opened. So here is your end paper with this image of Snowpiercer. And here is Snowpiercer Volume 1, The Escape. Written by Jacques Loeb and drawn by Jean-Marc and translated and lettering there. And this is the only one that Jacques Loeb wrote because he passed away in 1990. As a matter of fact, the first book was written anywhere from, I think it was 1982 to 1983. And then the other 2 books we'll talk about here in a second who they're written by. But this all takes place in the, well, not disclosed future, where humanity has just, well, I don't want to give that away, never mind, where everybody is riding inside of this train because the world, Earth, is frozen over. And if you step outside, you will freeze to death instantly. So this is what remains of humanity. And it is just inside of this train that has 1,000+ cars, 1,001. It's a 1,000-car train that just travels around the world non-stop. So that's what Snowpiercer is. It is the name of the train. And at the very beginning, we are introduced really quickly to a couple of characters. We have Prolov, who is, for some reason, being quarantined after he tried to escape from the rearmost car. And then we're also introduced to what is her name? This young lady here, Adeline. And together they are the 2 protagonists of this particular story. Now I'm going to go ahead and say something. I read this because of the Snowpiercer movie. I love the movie. And I knew it was based on a graphic novel I hadn't read yet. And I wanted to say that I think Titan, they published it right after the movie or right before the movie premiered. Anyway, the movie wasn't that well known at the time. It had like some small screens that were actually showing it. So I didn't think anybody had even heard about it. So I went and got the first graphic novel, and I read it cover to cover on the first day. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's different than the movie, so if you're expecting the same kind of grandeur that the movie gives you, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. The dialogue's a little flat, but I love the artwork in here. The artwork is phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I think this is my favorite thing that Roche drew, and he drew all 3 of these books, but of course those were years apart. So that's what this is. This is practically a post-apocalyptic world where humanity is all living inside of this train. And the carts, the more and more you move further up, the higher society becomes. So the people that are poor, have no money, or malnourished, they're all in the back of the carts. They're all in the back of the train. The people that are rich, high society, and just living the life, living it up, they all live towards the front of the train. So the problem comes when they notice that the train is starting to slow down. So their idea, the rich people's idea, is to go ahead and just get rid of the back parts of the train so the train can catch speed up again. Because if the train slows down or stops, they're going to die. So that's what they decide to do, and they get Adeline's help as well as Prolof's help to try to get everybody in the back to move towards the front of the train so they can release the carts. Well, let's just say that's not what ends up happening. So you can find out for yourself what ends up happening in this book. It is mature content. All the artwork in this volume right here is in black and white. But it's really a social commentary on life. And, not so much back what it was in 1982 and 1983, but what it is now. The separation between the rich and the poor and just the social divide that we have. So I really enjoyed this book. It was a lot different than what I was expecting because, like I said, I came in here with, movie eyes. That was great. Now there's a TV show, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen the TV show. So that's pretty much the first volume. It's about, okay, we got to get rid of the back cards. People from the back are now kind of revolting and trying to move up. What's up at the front? Well, there's a lot of twists and turns. Especially if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest reading this first. But that's volume 1. And here is volume 2/volume 3, because the original stories had 4 different books. So this one here contains not just the Explorers, but also book 3, The Crossing. And I made that joke earlier about the Avengers, The Crossing. But here, this one is written by Benjamin Legrand, who ended up writing this particular 2 stories here, the Explorers and The Crossing. So the artwork is still done by Roche, even though it looks a little bit different. Keep in mind, this was drawn years later. So yes, unfortunately, Jacques Loeb passed away in 1990, so they decided to publish this particular book. And I think this one was published originally in French. Oh my goodness. I want to say early aughts or late 90s. So like 1999, 2000, 2001 is when this and The Crossing were both published back to back. But they decided to continue the story. And this one is really interesting because this focuses less on Snowpiercer, especially after you read that ending, and more on a new train. And the new train is called Icebreaker. And so you get to meet a new cast of characters. So there's more than one train out there. So the things that you thought of were happening in the original Snowpiercer weren't really true. That there was more to civilization. That there was more than one train. And was there more than 2? Well, you can find that out for yourself after reading The Crossing. I think it's when all that is revealed. Or no, Terminus. The Terminus story is what reveals all that. But this is what the artwork looks like. This, again, has mature content for language, sexual content, and, of course, violence. But if you enjoy post-apocalyptic stories, then this is the story for you. I really like the pacing on this one. I thought this was really interesting what they wanted to add to the story and the social commentary that you found in the very first volume. So in this, you're introduced to a character named Puig. Oh my gosh, I know I'm butchering it. And his lady named Val. And they live on this train, and Puig is part of these people that are known as breakers. Like, they're doing breaking exercise because they have a fear that the icebreaker is going to end up colliding with Snowpiercer. So they have to try to break things, break the actual train. Not B-R-E-A-K, break, like pump your brakes, baby, slow down, you're moving too fast for me. Anyway, that's what I mean. And of course, everything gets turned around when there's some big reveals as to what the council knows about what's happening in the outside world. So this one is pretty interesting, and like I said, has volumes 2 and 3 collected in this particular book. Now, the last book is called Terminus. This has the creepy mice on the cover. So this continues the story of Icebreaker. And I'm sure you're asking, wait, does it have any ties to Snowpiercer? Well, maybe. Especially if you read the ending. Now, this one is written by Olivier Bouquet, and again, drawn by Jean-Marc Rocher. And this time around, this has some different color tones in it. It's not just black and white. There's several color tones. And I can't flip too much through this one. But this, again, shows us the character of Val and Puig, and how they're coping with the ending of what happened at the end of The Crossing, where they had to try to cross this big frozen lake because they kept getting a radio signal. Then it's revealed here what the radio signal is. Let me just say that if you're expecting like happy endings, or like, oh, they're gonna fix the problem, or there might be hope at the end of this, don't get too hung up on that notion. Let's just say that. It's dark, and the things that some of these characters do are dark. And there is a reason why people are wearing these masks right here. And this one introduces us to the character of Laura. Laura becomes the new leader of Icebreaker. So this, again, expands the universe and the world building of Snowpiercer. I want to say this one here was written in 2015, 2016, so there were some years, of course, right? The original one written in 1982, 1983, or published in 1982, 1983. Then the late 90s, early aughts for the two sequels, The Explorers and The Crossing, and then this one here, Terminus, being written, or published, rather, in 2016, 2017. Now, there is a prequel trilogy, too, from what I heard. I haven't read any of those yet. I know there's 2 of them that are out so far, but yeah, I haven't read those. I love this world and the world building that every one of these creators have done. All the writers, rather, because it's always been Rocher drawing it, has been just magnificent. I keep wanting more and more. And I'm curious if they borrow elements from these books to do the Season 2 and Season 3 of the Snowpiercer series. I don't even know what season they're on. I just assume they're on Season 3. I haven't seen it yet, but I enjoy the movie. Now, as far as like the binding of the book and the paper quality that they use, it is this thick, glossy paper. And it is sewn binding, so the book lays over really nice. Now, each of the books has different page counts, but all 3 of these have a total of 600 pages. Sorry, this is my original one here. I just wanted a comparison for the graphic novel that inspired the film and the graphic novel that inspired the TV series. But yes, all of this is 600 pages. Again, retailing for $79.99, or you can buy them individually. I think they all have a price tag of $25, if I'm not mistaken, $24.99. Yeah, let's see here. Nope, the last one is $29.99. So if math serves me correctly, you're pretty much just getting the slipcase free if you buy them all in one, along with those cards. These 3 cards. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of each of these hardcovers, and of course the slipcase. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any more questions, if you've read Snowpiercer, or if you've only watched the movie. If you haven't read this before, hopefully this video can kind of help you decide whether you want to pick it up or not. And, of course, if you have any more questions, leave your questions down below. This was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. And check out our Spread Shop and Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.